Hello and welcome back to the finals here at Grand Prix Strasbourg. I'm here with the Marine Library. My name is Matej Zalka, I'm your host. And after 16 grueling rounds, we're down to the finals. Quarterfinals were super exciting, we saw great matches. Semifinals were great, and now the finals. You see the players there, a big crowd watching them. We have two superstars of this weekend playing it out. We have Jacob Wilson of the United States, Grand Prix Chicago top 8 competitor and champion as well. And on the right side, we have Thomas Enevoldsen, coming off of a World Magic Cup qualifier win the previous week. Now he's looking to get a GP title under his belt. He's looking at getting a very good pro season the following year, but there's still one match between these players. The winner, they will get the trophy, the title, the fame and the fortune that goes along with it. Marijn, break down the decks these two players are playing.
On the one hand, there's Jacob Wilson. He's playing Rug Delver. Rug Delver, Legacy, been famous for this deck for quite some time. And like everyone that plays Legacy, they know Rug Delver exists. What does it try to do? Delver of Secret, Nimble Mongoose, Tarmogoyf creatures. All of the other cards are there to protect these 12 threads, to seal the deal before your opponent gets to develop his board. On the other hand, Thomas Enevoldsen, a deck that's not that famous, but still known by most of the Legacy players. It's Death and Taxes. White weenie-ish, not really weenie-ish, some utility creatures with Mother of Runes, Phyrex and Revoker, Mirran Crusader, just these little white weenies trying to seal the deal before the bigger spells can take over the game. So really interesting game, really good Magic.
Yeah, and we've seen these two decks go at it previously in the Swiss portion of the tournament, but this is really a combination to decide if the outsider deck in Death and Taxes, which wasn't seen on the Legacy circuits in Europe or the United States, takes it home, or if the dominant deck of the format, which was played by two pilots here in top 8, we've seen the semi-final. But let's get right to it. Let's see the magic. Here we have Jacob Wilson against Thomas Enevoldsen, the finals of Grand Prix Strasbourg 2013. We are playing Legacy. This is the final. Make sure to check it out. It's going to be a great Magic. And after watching Thomas Enevoldsen play throughout the weekend, his deck is a lot of fun. He starts right away with an Aether Vial, which is a great play for him.
Yeah, the look he's starting for against Rug Delver, seriously. With Rug Delver has 4 days, 4 Force of Will. Sorry, Aether Vial, you ain't countering my creatures anytime soon.
Yeah, the big advantage for Thomas Enevoldsen here is the fact that he doesn't run any fetch lands, so meaning that Stifles will not be as effective. So
nope.
That attack angle from Jacob Wilson will not be as relevant.
No, Stifle will be used to maybe counter one Aether Vial activation, maybe Stoneforge Mystic, maybe I don't know, Umezawa's Jidda, but that's about it, and these Stifle's not going to be very good in this matchup.
Yep, so Aether Vial now on 1 counter, it's facing across the board only a Volcanic Island, which was used to cast a Ponder. That Volcanic Island hits the bin with a Wasteland. This is basically how Thomas Enevoldsen wants to play this.
Yep, he wants to get his Aether Vial up to 2 counters, start deploying his Thalia, his Stoneforge Mystic, and wants to use his Wastelands to keep Jacob Wilson from 2 mana, so he can't resolve Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, so Scalding Tarn sacrifice for Jacob Wilson, finds a Volcanic Island and uses that to play a Delver of Secrets. Trying to put some aggro on because he's not going to win without attacking. Two counters on the Aether Vial for Thomas Enevoldsen, who also has does seem like a Thalia in his hand, as well as an Umezawa's Jidda.
And the Swords to Plowshares to get rid of the Delver of Secrets. So already all the resources he needs. Like
yeah. So here's the Swords. Does it resolve? It resolves. Now the Wasteland. And then the Thalia. Jacob Wilson could be on the back foot very quickly.
That's 3 permanents to 0. And we're only turn 3. Like he's been Wasteland is so powerful. It gets you back, and combined with Thalia, it's such a pain.
Yeah, Jacob Wilson has a land, but actually cannot cast any spells here. Yeah, just one land. Talia being very punishing here. Thomas Enevoldsen also adds a third counter to his Ether Vial. We see a Flicker Wisp in his hand. Actually, he will use it probably at the end of the turn. Also has a Phyrexian Revoker.
Flicker Wisp at instant saves your Talia from Lightning Bolt. This is a great trick here.
Yeah, and you see actually Thomas Enevoldsen doesn't play the Flicker Wisp through his Ether Vial because that's exactly what he wants to do, protect it. We see Jacob Wilson without any lands cannot do anything here. We saw him punishing Alexander Hayne in the semifinals with his Wasteland Light from the Loam action. Now he's on the other end of that.
Yeah, and he can't really play his Nimble Mongoose. It's not going to help him that much as a 1/1. So he's waiting to fetch for a green source because he doesn't want to lose his Tropical Island to another Wasteland.
There's a Tropical Island. But just past the turn, Jacob Wilson will now try to Lightning Bolt the Thalia because it has been getting in the way quite a lot. So 3 mana. Yeah. He tries to use the Ether Vial there. Maybe some small amount of some miscommunication there between the players, it seems.
Yeah, but he's waiting for a response to his Ether Vial activation. Now Flicker Wisp comes into play. This gives Jacob the opportunity to Lightning Bolt to Talia.
We'll see if Jacob bites. Yeah, and wants to. Thomas Enevoldsen wants to reset his Ether Vial.
Yeah, with all these 2-drops in his hand, he doesn't need it to be a 3. Like he wants to play the Stoneforge Mystic in his hand or the Phyrexian Revokers.
Yeah, so that resolves. No other responses.
It's just these little tricks. We've seen Flicker Wisp being very nice in this deck. Lots of tricks with it. Like we've seen it blink a Phyrexian Revoker just to reset the Phyrexian Revoker.
Yeah, Thomas Enevoldsen attacks for 5 here. This forces Jacob Wilson's hand and he searches out Volcanic Island. And now we'll use the 2 mana to Lightning Bolt. It just costs 2 mana. It turns into a Searing Spear when Natalia is in play. So
yeah,
but gets rid of it. So just takes 3 damage here. And Thomas Enevoldsen did have double Wasteland, but no other lands to follow that up. And now with Talia gone, Jacob can start to take over the game with his double Brainstorm and Ponder hand.
Finally, he can start cycling all of these cards, looking for some extra lands or maybe an extra threat. Like this game, despite such a good start from Thomas with the double Wasteland and the Ether Vial, he kind of stumbled a bit, and now Wilson is crawling back into the game.
Yeah. Remember, this is the finals of GP Strasbourg. So that means that this is the final best of 3 that we will see throughout this weekend, and after this, it's over. We will just take the magnificent shot of the winner with the trophy, and he can take it home with all the glory here. So we now see that the Ponder was used. There was a shuffle there. Jacob was probably not satisfied with the top of his library. Now, searching some more. Goes for Brainstorm. Yeah, and also we have a nice shout out to Soren Larsen, who was defeated by Thomas Enevoldsen in the World Magic Cup qualifier last week. So Thomas will represent Denmark at the World Magic Cup in Amsterdam. And Soren actually tweets every round, good luck to Thomas, and it's been working like a charm so far because the only... Yeah, that means that Thomas Enevoldsen, by actually winning the GP, will get 8 pro points, meaning he will take over the top slot, the top pro slot, meaning that Soren Larsen could get in as the other team member. So definitely something for Soren Larsen to keep his eyes on. And we're saying hello to Denmark, not only to Soren, but also to other viewers who are rooting for Thomas Enevoldsen in this game. And I'm sure all of you Americans are cheering at home, USA, USA. And probably in the Twitch chat as well, right? So there we go. Here comes Revoker from the Ether Vial.
Yeah, not very useful in this matchup, to be honest. Delver of Secrets is a triggered ability, not an activated ability. So not a lot of cards that you can name there. I think he didn't even bother naming anything. Like we don't see a slip on it. I don't think there's anything you can name.
Both players know each other's deck lists. They had it available before the finals, and so we know that there's no non-land activated abilities in Jacob Wilson's deck. So that Phyrexian Revoker is a 2/1 for 2 mana, and I expect it to hit the sideboard.
Yeah, it's a 2/1 for 2 mana. Not very good against a deck with Nimble Mongoose.
Oh yeah, another days here for Jacob Wilson, who is on 2 life.
He had to flip his Delver in
to
this
block,
turn.
yeah. So Thomas Enevoldsen beats. Yeah, it adds a target to the board, which measures up quite well.
And now with just 1 land, he's not able to cast anything, so it's probably dead this turn.
3 mana, Flicker Wisp, your Delver.
Yeah, well, this game is over. Just all of a sudden.
That's over. Yeah, just suddenly the Jacob Wilson stuck on 2 lands, couldn't get his board going, and Thomas Enevoldsen with his persistent creatures just nibbling away at his light total turn after turn, takes the game and has a big lead in this this final here. Here we see the big crowd that has gathered across the stage here. Lots of people. We see Michael Bond there at the back. Lost to his friend Thomas in the semis, not too disheartened by it. I actually spoke to them before this round, and Michael Bond actually boarded in the Cataclysm and played it, but actually lost him the game at the end. And Thomas Enevoldsen was funnily saying, "Don't board Cataclysm in, it's bad in the mirror match." But Michael Bond wanted to be fancy and didn't quite work out in his favor. But I don't think he would be very disappointed with losing that one. Losing to a friend in the semifinals of a Grand Prix is already a pretty decent achievement, and you can go away home with a pretty decent feeling. So yeah, both players mulliganing here. Marijn, what do you think we're looking at from the sideboard for both players?
Well, Jacob Wilson, he's definitely bringing in these rough tumbles.
Why would he board it in? Like, what's his main goal in this matchup?
He's trying to stop like cards like Mother of Runes and Talia from being there, because they really stop the game plan of the Delver deck. So rough tumble takes care, does 2 damage to everything. Also the 1 sulfur elemental could be very crucial. It's got flash, so it comes into play as an instant. +1, -1 to all white creatures, so it kills Mother of Runes, it kills Talia. That's very powerful in this matchup.
It has split second, so it cannot be responded to with Ether Vial shenanigans. Kills also Flicker Wisp, which we saw was quite good here. So definitely something that Thomas Enevoldsen has to be wary of. But we know Jacob Wilson only has 1. So for Thomas Enevoldsen, we've seen that the Rokers are most likely going out. What can he bring in?
He's definitely bringing in 2 Rest in Peace, I think. Like, such a good card against Tarmogoyf, good card against Nimble Mongoose. The 1 Gut Shot might come in to take care of the Delver of Secrets. Maybe a Relic of Progenitus. The Sunlands definitely coming in to take care of Delver of Secrets. The extra Umezawa's Jidda. There's definitely some cards that he can bring in, and he needs to take out those 4 useless Phyrexian Revokers.
Yeah, basically I think Thomas Enevoldsen deck was so successful this week, bringing not only himself to the final, but his friend Michael Bond to the semifinals. The fact that it does so many things, so many different things. It can just go aggro with fast Mother of Runes, Thalia, Mirran Crusader, and just bash in quickly for a 6 turn with the Mother of Runes protection. You can also sit back, develop his board, play a Stoneforge Mystic, put out the Battle Skull, and just start clawing its way back into the game. Or we saw the Wasteland Rishadan port, where Wasteland, by being able to destroy any non-basic land, and Rishadan port tapping any land, just denying the mana of the opponents.
Yeah, and combined with Talia, that 3rd plan is so powerful. We've seen why Daze is so good. Well, Talia is basically a permanent Daze, and you don't play any non-creature spells yourself, and that's why Talia is so good. Just a great card.
So, still a good shout out to the crowd. The players still sideboarding. Remember, Jacob Wilson of the United States has only 1 GP top 8 in Chicago, but he managed to win that tournament. If he wins the 2nd GP in his 2nd top 8, that's going to be a very good success rate.
Yeah, and it definitely proves that it's worth flying over the ocean just to play in a Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's been great having the American players here. It was Jacob Wilson, Jerry Thompson, Harry Corvesi, and Ben Friedman coming over. Harry Corvesi got 10th place, Ben Friedman now in the finals, looking for that title. Definitely legacy format where the American players can excel. So they have a very active legacy circuit. A lot of players like the formats being written about quite often. And I'm not surprised the format has proven itself to be a lot of fun, and I've loved casting this. And I hope to see 2 more games, not just 1.
Yeah,
in this final.
We definitely wanted to go to 3 games, and preferably interesting games with a lot of creatures, some little tricks with Flicker Wisp, just great magic, and like we've seen all weekend long.
Yeah. So Jacob Wilson starts off the 2nd game of the finals, where he is 1 game down on Thomas Enevoldsen of Denmark. He starts off with a Misty Rainforest into a tropical island. Nimble Mongoose, Delver of Secrets.
Yeah, any of these 2, or just maybe a Ponder to get some information on the top of his deck.
Yeah, it definitely the advantage that now Thomas Enevoldsen starting first, being the 2nd seed in the tournament. A big advantage because he could, in game 1, he could get the Ether Vial on board before Jacob Wilson had any lands.
There we see the hand, Mirren Crusader, Mother of Runes, freshly drawn. Perfect draw there, because on turn 1 you want to do something against the Rug Delver deck. If you don't do anything, then on turn 2 and 3 your creatures will get dazed. So you definitely got to get on the board as quick as possible.
Yeah, so Force of Will on the Mother of Runes. I'll start off with a few cards less here, but I really need to make it happen here. Nimble Mongoose turn 1, Force of Will basically turn 1, follows up with the Tarmogoyf,
and
a 3/4 Tarmogoyf.
And he's holding a Daze, so...
Yeah, to counter any potential...
Stoneforge
Mystics, Daze, a very aggressive hand from Jacob Wilson, but we've seen a Mirren Crusader in Thomas Enevoldsen.
Is that another Daze?
A Ponder.
Looking for another Daze?
Yeah.
Is it
maybe
Rough Tumble Fork Ball? Does he have the red source?
Doesn't seem to have the red source. There is a Fork Ball definitely on top.
It does have the red source.
Yeah, Rough Tumble, Nimble Mongoose and Fork Ball on top of Jacob Wilson's library there. He can keep up the pressure very significantly here. Yeah, leaves the top library as it is. Will not even go for the sacrifice of the Scalding Tarn here.
No, he wants to draw that second Nimble Mongoose. Mirren Crusader, a very good card, but it dies to Fork Bolt and Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, here we see a shot of Jacob Wilson. Yeah, and my Mirren Crusader resolves.
And this is what the Rug Delver deck is all about. Apply some pressure, put in 2 creatures, and then just deny your opponent from doing anything by Force of Will, Daze, or Fork Bolt. The perfect game plan and working out great this time around.
He shuffles away the Rough Tumble by getting the Volcanic Island with his Scalding Tarn, gets rid of the Mirren Crusader, using the Fork Bolt, destroys the Wasteland, now gets up to Threshold, and still has the last card. Is it Nimble Mongoose?
It's a Nimble Mongoose. This is a perfect draw actually from Jacob Wilson.
We see a Swords to Plowshare that can slow the bleeding a little bit. For Thomas Enevoldsen,
yeah, but he's still facing two of these 3/3 untargetable Nimble Mongoose.
Yeah, to Mongoose, LSV would be proud. That's his signature card, in a way, because he likes his Mongoose. Now Thomas Enevoldsen, will he add Italia? It's more like a chump blocker at this point.
Well, he needs to do something. Like, if he doesn't play anything, I don't see him coming back from 2/3. It's like, if he plays it, he might be able to equip Umezawa's Jin the next turn, which gives him another turn.
Yeah, but by playing the Thalia, the JT is also more expensive, and already on facing 6 power of creatures on Nimble Mongoose, it's already very problematic.
Yeah, he basically needs to draw Mirren Crusader here. Like, Thalia will save him 3 damage, and if Mirren Crusader then joins the board, then he can start blocking.
Yeah, but Jacob Wilson out of cards. But, we saw how fast he can get back into the game with Ponders, with Brainstorms and that card,
so many cards in his deck are live, like Lightning Ball, or even Rough Tumble here. Well, Rough Tumble will be 3 mana because of the Thalia, but...
Yeah,
and a Tarmogoyf.
Wow,
this is just insane. Like, it's such a good draw. And
Thomas Enevoldsen can do nothing about such an onslaught. The aggressive Force of Will Daze draw together with double Nimble Mongoose and double Tarmogoyf. Just like that, it's 1 apiece. Our wishes have come true. Now we'll get to see the final game of the final.
Yeah, and being on the play there was so crucial. being able to play that nimble mongoose before anything happened, then force of will that first guy, get to play my Tarmogoyf, return my one island to counter your 2-drop, just a perfect draw, being on the play, as I said, very crucial.
Yeah. Very well played by Jacob Wilson. They're not hesitating to counter that Mother of Runes on turn 1, and I think that's what won him the game in the end, because that Mother of Runes could have been able to block a creature every turn,
yep.
and maybe allow Thomas Enevoldsen to stabilize. So.
And he didn't have, at that point, he didn't have the 4-ball nor the lightning ball, so the Mother of Runes would have lived, and it would have been very problematic.
Yeah, so one apiece. Jacob Wilson checking out the deck list from Thomas Enevoldsen. He wants to know what's up, that he's not missing anything. Maybe sideboard a little bit differently.
Yeah.
He's going to game 3 and is on the draw.
Yeah, when you're on the draw, Daze is not as good. Force of Will gets a little bit better because you do get to draw a card first. So maybe he wants to swap some Dazes for Force of Will again. He sideboarded out 2 on the play, but proved to be very good. So maybe now he brings them back in.
Yeah, we had a quick glimpse at his sideboard. Actually, Brian also has been dealing click. Thomas Enevoldsen really hoping that he can start off the game with the Ether Vial. And we saw actually, he's thinking about Force of Will here. Does he want to board them out maybe, or bring them in? At the back there you can also hit Tomohiro Saito. He didn't manage to get to day 2, but he likes Legacy, and he just told me when I was outside that he's in the top 8.
Yeah.
Of the Legacy side event, Legacy Championships, and he just said, he just keeps repeating it throughout the 2 days, but it's so true. I just want to play Legacy.
Yeah.
That's why he came. Great, yeah. Too bad we couldn't see him in day 2, but he's always a player that wants to play as much Magic as possible. He's enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's happy to be here. He's also very important for the Japanese community. Always Facebook, Twitter, with his own shop, selling cards. It's just great to have him around again.
Yeah, and yes, same can be said about Thomas Enevoldsen and Jacob Wilson. It's great to see Jacob Wilson, the Grand Prix Chicago 2012 champion, come over here and prove his skills on the European soil. And on the other hand, Thomas Enevoldsen, one of the more famous Danish players, will represent his country at the WMCQ no matter what, because he did win the qualifier last week. But if he wins today, it's almost sure that he will get the top pro slot as well.
Yeah.
Meaning that the win that he got last week will pass on to Søren Larsen, who we know is cheering on for his friend here. So we'll see how it goes. A small recap of the bracket here. We saw out of the feature matches, we saw Fabian Gernskin not being able to survive the onslaught of Monkeys from Alexander Hayne. That went to three games, all very interesting. Alexei Romanchuk also lost in 3 games to Jacob Wilson. His Merfolk never quite get going, and the Rock Delver deck did manage to overpower his opponent there. In the Rock Delver mirror match on the left side of the bracket, we saw very interesting matches. In the end, Jacob Wilson's life from the Lone Wasteland plan proved successful after not dying to a lonely 3-2 and tactile aberration from Alexander Hayne. So that put Jacob Wilson in the finals. And on the other side of the bracket, it was 2 Danes against 2 Germans. Both Danes on Death and Taxes, the 2 Germans on different blue-based deck. But Sneaky Show and Bug, not good enough to get rid of Death and Taxes.
Double Emrakul attack, not good enough against Death and Taxes.
Yep.
Something to remember from this tournament.
Both decks had to pay the iron price, pay their taxes. And as they say, there's only 2 things sure in life. It's death and it's taxes. That's why the deck is named that it is, because in every format, no matter what happens, you will see White Weenie. And here it is again.
Yeah.
Alongside Death and Taxes, there's White Weenie in the Legacy tournament. And not only Legacy, in Modern and Standard, there's always some sort of white-based aggro deck.
Seems to be Jacob Wilson is thinking about his hand. He's only got Wasteland as a only land, so it seems to be definitely a mulligan. He can't risk not drawing any colored land.
Yeah, it did seem like Thomas Enevoldsen mulligan as well. They're just resolving the mulligans. one by one, it seems. So we'll see. We'll get a look at that.
With Thomas on the play, he has to decide first. So he decides mulligan. That gives Jacob Wilson, some extra information and some extra time to decide about his own hand. Now again, Thomas Enevoldsen looks at his freshly 6 cards, deciding is it good enough, is it not.
Yeah, so we'll see how this turns out. So both players will start the final game of GP Strasbourg on 6 cards, at least, well, at most 6 cards, because they might mulligan some more here if they're not satisfied with their hands. So will Jacob Wilson be satisfied with his 6-card hand here? Doesn't seem to have many lands here. Does he have any lands? He does have a wasteland.
This is it, the final game of the tournament.
So, Plains, Mother of Runes, that resolves. Jacob Wilson actually drew a source here. Does he have any more? Oh yeah, he does have a Scalding Turn, so just drew a Misty Rainforest, so does have plenty of lands, but didn't count with Mother of Runes like he did game 2.
He's holding Lightning Bolt, I believe, so this time around the Mother of Runes is gonna die.
Yeah, so Volcanic Island, is he going to hesitate? I don't think
hesitating
so.
there. Mother of Runes, something you need to get rid of.
Yeah, and there it is. You also see Jacob Wilson also has a Frozen Grip in his hand.
Yeah, a good card to sideboard against Better Skull and Umezawa's Jide.
And Ether Vial as well.
Wildleaf Leech.
He boarded in Wildleaf Leech.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
He knows he has to get rid of these 4 Phyrexian Revokers, so we might as well get in the 4/4. There's no killing a 4/4 with Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, both players thinking here. So Thomas Enevoldsen still has a Horizon Canopy. Oh yeah, so he just went to tap Volcanic Island during Jacob Wilson's turn. Didn't decide to play his 2-mana Stoneforge Mystic to not expose it to Daze.
Yeah, not expose it to Daze. Like, there's no need to rush things if you can make sure the Stoneforge Mystic enters the battlefield next turn.
Yeah, and a Wasteland for Jacob Wilson, getting rid of that Rishon port. So now again, Thomas Enevoldsen exposed
to the sheer power of Wasteland. Like, even in a deck like White Weenie with 9 basic planes, you still have quite a lot of non-basics. You still have 4 with Shadowport, 3 Caracas. We see the Horizon Canopy, so Wasteland's still very good in this matchup.
Yeah, so Stoneforge Mystic comes down. Does it resolve though? We see a Force of Will, we see a Frozen Grip. Does he have another blue card? He does.
He has a Spell Snare, but unfortunately can't play it.
Yeah, so that Stoneforge Mystic resolves. Now he goes and finds Umezawa Jite. He doesn't go for Battle Skull here. Umezawa Jite first. With Jacob Wilson having a Frozen Grip, not that scared of it, but certainly Thomas Enevoldsen must be feeling pretty good about himself so far. Wants to take the title home.
Locking up this legacy GP, we've seen so many great matches, 16 rounds.
Another Wasteland for Jacob Wilson.
But he needs to ramp up to 3 mana so he can make sure his Frozen Grip will kill the Umezawa's Jade.
Yeah, but if Thomas Enevoldsen actually doesn't start drawing more lands here, it doesn't have, that's only a Swords to Plowshares. Now Jacob Wilson actually left up a Spell Snare mana.
But no 2 mana except for Umezawa's Jide, but that one is getting into play through Stoneforge Mystic.
And Thomas Enevoldsen probably doesn't want to expose it. You could also play a
Mother of Runes.
Mother of Runes here, so he has to decide. If he had drawn a land, he would be playing Mother of Runes instantly, but Jacob Wilson with a lot of lands in his hand needs a brainstorm to get going properly. Plays a Wasteland there to signal that that Horizon Canopy might not last long, but there's no point in sacrificing it here, because Thomas would just draw an additional card with it in response before it is destroyed.
By playing the Wasteland though, Thomas now cannot play the Jide, because if he does, he taps the Horizon Canopy and then it will just get killed.
Yeah.
And Jacob Wilson knows Thomas doesn't have a 3rd land.
Yeah, so basically the lands are a big issue. Yeah. 5 cards in Jacob Wilson's hand.
And the lands being a big issue doesn't surprise me. The Rug Delver deck is all about denying your opponent from developing his board.
Ether Vial for using the Horizon Canopy, so sensing that he might not get a lot of use out of it, tries to go for the Horizon Canopy mana and the Ether Vial. We know Jacob has a Frozen Grip, but he also knows there is a Umezawa's Jite, in Thomas's hand. So has to manage his resources very carefully here.
Yeah, he has a lot to think about actually, because if he decides to pull the trigger on the Crozen Grip on either vial, the Jitte might take over, but he still has the Wasteland to get rid of the second land.
Yeah.
There's a lot to think about here.
Definitely many decisions have to be made here. Yeah, Jacob Wilson actually goes for the Force of Will here.
And now we'll definitely see the Wasteland on that on that second land.
As well as the Mother of Runes. The Aether Vial should go to the graveyard. Yeah, it's gone, and now Mother of Runes. That seems to resolve it. It should do a good lightning bolt.
Yeah. It should.
Yeah, so Horizon Canopy gets destroyed.
Thomas could have attacked there with his Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, he missed the attack there. But now, does he have a land?
No land.
Another Wilderfleet?
Yeah, well, this is Legacy Squire getting in again.
2 mana, 1/2s. Did find a Umezawa Jitte, but not much more. Now a Gitaxian Probe for Jacob. He'll see what's up.
And the good thing about the Rug deck is, despite it drawing that many lands this time, he knows all these cantrips will get into business anytime.
Yeah, we see a lot after the Gitaxian Probe was played. All the players sitting down across, spectating there, just went up to see what was in the hand there, and yeah,
Force of Will, not the best draw, to be honest.
Yeah, Thomas Enevoldsen on double Wilderleaf Leech. He just has to hope that he starts drawing lands soon. There's a Caracas.
No, there's a Better Skull.
Better Skull. Oh, even. Actually, if he draws one land here. Spell Pierce for Jacob Wilson, no pressure here, but another Stoneforge Mystic, another Mother of Runes. Might get countered with the Force of Will again.
I think he will. Like, if he lets it resolve, his Blinding Bolts and Fork Bolts won't do anything anymore.
Yeah, as well as being able to protect his creatures from being trampled over by the Goyfs and the Geese of Jacob Wilson. So. Definitely something to think about. Let's it resolve though. Draws a Delver here. That's exactly the card that Jacob Wilson wanted.
Yeah, and if he could draw a Brainstorm now, that would be so good, because all these cards like Spell Pierce and Force not very good when your opponent only has one land.
Yeah, a Gandrocast, so finally a land for Thomas Enevoldsen. He'll be able to play his spells here. Put a Battle Skull, Lightning Bolt on top. But now that the Mother of Runes is active, Jacob Wilson's plan here is basically attack for 6 times, right?
Yep.
So Stoneforge Mystic, yeah. How about this Battle Skull here?
Yeah, that's not happening. Sorry, Mr. Thomas Enevoldsen.
Yeah, we know there's a Crozen Grip in Jacob Wilson's hand, but it will force, Jacob to tap 3 mana to get rid of it. While also, both players know there's still Umezawa's Jitte.
And now Thomas might be looking to wasteland one of these 4 lands from Jacob, or just resolve a Mirran Crusade or a Flicker Wisp.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards that he could be going. Yeah, so here comes the Battle Skull. Thomas Enevoldsen actually doing exactly what he needed. Just start drawing lands. He has plenty there. But with Jacob Wilson not having pressure previously, he had a lot of time to draw it. And here comes the Crozen Grip. Thomas Enevoldsen elected not to play the Wasteland before. He could do nothing about the Crozen Grip because it does have split second, cannot be responded to, and now 1 mana. Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah, we're gonna see a Force of Will here, I believe.
Yeah, because if he doesn't, then
he got no more pressure, and he really needs that 3/2 flyer.
Yeah, but on the other hand, he knows that there's a Umezawa Jitte potentially incoming the following turn.
But he cannot counter that Umezawa Jitte anyway. Like, there's Stoneforge Mystic, so I think he will counter. Well, yeah, the Jitte might kill the Delver of Secrets. This is a tough decision.
Yeah, Jacob Wilson a little bit on the back foot ever since Thomas Enevoldsen started drawing lands here, but 1 Brainstorm from Jacob might change everything. With a fetch land, you get to see so many new cards. So yeah, their players just are stepping in to make sure that the life tools are correct.
And I'm amazed by how great all these matches are turning out. Like, we've said so many times, oh yeah, now Thomas is on the back foot, and then all of a sudden he comes back. We see, oh yeah, Jacob losing. We've seen Thomas come back from 2 Emrakul attacks. I can't say that enough. Yeah, Who would have thought a white weenie deck coming back from 2 Emrakul attacks? I cannot believe it.
The second one leaving him with no permanence.
No permanence.
Against a board of 6 lands and a sneak attack in play, and Thomas still managed to come back in that game. Just a ridiculous game there. Make sure to check it out in the Twitch TV archives after this is done. It's definitely worth it. Thomas Enevoldsen quarterfinal games against Christopher Brunner was a special one. And Jacob Wilson's semi-final game against Alexander Hayne was also very, very interesting. So it was still here resolving that source of plowshares. Will there be a response from Jacob Wilson? Will he go for the force of will here? Because he has almost perfect information here, thanks to the Gitaxian probe from earlier. Because he knows that Thomas Enevoldsen holds a Jite, 2 will live lieges, and probably one more card that he knows of, and an unknown card. So yeah, he forces the source of plowshares. He knows that he needs the creature in play.
He's going all in on this little insect. Like, he needs to go for it right now.
Yeah. So Thomas Enevoldsen passes the turn. Jacob Wilson only an exactile aberration.
Teasing us a little bit.
2 cards.
Oh,
another wasteland though.
It's a wasteland. The Umezawa's Jit is gonna be active, I'm afraid. Like, equip the Stonefort Mystic. Oh, well, he didn't attack with the insectile abomination. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
He's holding lightning bolt, so if Thomas decides to give protection from blue, then he's gonna lose. Then he's gonna lose his Mother of Runes to
he
lightning
actually
bolt.
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't take the bait here.
No.
Puts 2 counters on and then finish off the Delver with the Umezawa ability. He knows he has to keep up the Mother of Runes at all times because it's at risk to dying a lightning bolt. Another Delver.
Not very good against the Jide with a counter on it.
Yeah, at least not until it flips. Now.
And now Thomas
Crusader
can finally start deploying the creatures.
Yeah, and killed that Delver. Jacob Wilson now with only a lightning bolt. He has to claw his way back into the game. Does he need another lightning bolt?
Sulfur Elemental?
Sulfur Elemental would be very good right now. Being able to kill the Mother of Runes without any responses, but also having the lightning bolt to finish off the Mirren Crusader. He's looking at Fork Bolt, Brainstorm, and Force of Will there.
We've seen this game in the beginning. Thomas was stuck on one land, surviving because Jacob didn't have any pressure. Now Thomas finally finding some creatures to put on some pressure, and Jacob on the back foot here. This game could be over in 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah, he was really happy about making the semifinals here, getting the 5 pro points needed for him to reach gold to be qualified for the next season. But he surely wants the title now, and that's why after this ponder is getting a shuffle. We know that Jacob Wilson really, really wants that Sulfur Elemental.
Please, Sulfur Elemental. It's only a one-off, but if you can draw it here, this could change the game.
Yeah, so shuffles after that ponder. What can Jacob Wilson top deck here? He still has at least 2 turns to draw something. It's a Nimble Mongoose.
Not much help against the protection from green.
Yeah, Mirren Crusader already has protection from green, so it can get past the Mongoose without any problems. Another plains for Thomas Enevoldsen. He could actually start churning out those Wiltleaf Lieges that have been rotting in his hand from the start of the game.
And that's 6 damage with Mirren Crusader, 3/3 double strike.
Yeah. Might actually go for it. He knows that Jacob Wilson only has 1 card in his hand. Could be a daze though, so yeah. Thomas Enevoldsen goes for the combo, which we have seen already in round 4. Starting our first round that we covered, we've seen Thomas Enevoldsen actually use Mirren Crusader shenanigans to get past Primeval Titans. We see him get past Tarmogoyfs. Now the helpless goose can do nothing but spectate.
Who would have known we started this tournament by covering Thomas Enevoldsen?
And that's it! Thomas Enevoldsen takes home the title for Denmark, winning the WMCQ and then winning a GP. We see huge roar from everyone in the crowd. They're not only cheering for Thomas, but also from Jacob. The perfect tournament. There's the fist bump from Thomas Enevoldsen. Everyone's super happy. And now the GP title home. Thomas Enevoldsen has something, to show for, because he didn't have the result yet. He got 8-0 after day 1 at Pro Tour Hollywood, but didn't convert it into a top 8, just got a money finish. He did win the WMCQ, which is already a great thing for locally, and gets to go on the big stage. But now, with the GP title home, he can brag, I'm the GP champion.
I got this little trophy standing there.
What do you got? And Soren Larsen at home, you might be going to Amsterdam.
And already people asking him to sign the playmat. You just won a GP, can you sign my playmat please?
Yeah, there we go. That's the fame, you know, fame and fortune. That's what a GP title brings. So yeah, great effort from Thomas Enevoldsen there. Already surrounded by plenty of people there. Great effort for him. Actually, only lost once throughout the whole tournament, and it took him the title. He did have 2 draws, but the 2 losses he took, one was to Tinfins, which was, as he said, one of the worst matchups. And that's what he's only lost, 2 draws to some other decks. But yeah, he got there in the end. He got the 3 wins in the top 8, and yeah, welcome back. We just had a great final here.
Awesome.
Just so great to cover you and to be here as the host. It's a great honor. I'm going to say big Zalkai with Moraine Liber. Soon we'll get Thomas Enevoldsen in the booth. We're just going to mic him up and he's going to come back. So, but before I get to talk to Thomas, I have to say, great effort by the 2 North Americans in the top 8. Jacob Wilson, the GP Chicago champion, coming over here, grabbing the 5 points he needed to get gold, setting him up nicely in such a way that if he manages to top 16 in San Diego at the Pro Tour, he can get to platinum, which would be a super achievement for him at such a young age already, platinum player, and surely would have great fun with Shahar Shenhar on the Pro Tour. They're both friends in the same team, so that would be great for them. And also Alexander Hain also locked up gold and got 3 points closer to John Stern in the Canada.
He's there, our winner.
Yeah, we have it ready.
That's it.
Let's go.
I'm just a commentator, gotta leave.
You'll be back soon enough. Let's get Thomas in the booth. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, how does it feel?
Great.
I feel a sort of retribution for you because I know that you've been running Death and Taxes for a very long time.
For a very long time.
You're the main proponent of the deck.
Takes practice.
It does take practice, and it paid off.
Yes, finally.
So, how does it take to take your pet deck to the win at a Grand Prix?
Well, actually, I didn't invent the deck. Some other Danish people invented the deck.
Okay.
Shout out to Andreas and Rasmus.
Rasmus Seabest?
No, another Rasmus.
Oh, okay.
Even better, maybe. Who invented the deck, or at least introduced me to it, I think about 2 years ago. And I just kept on playing it. I loved everything about it, and just kind of tried to perfect it, and just a great deck.
A great effort. We've seen you a few years ago, so playing it actually in America at a Star City Games Open and getting a top 4, I believe.
Yep, that's true.
So you're still qualified for an invitational.
That's true, yeah.
So that's already a great achievement. It shows like you've been there, you've been here, so already something to show for it.
Yeah, very different meta games, the two.
Yeah, how does it feel actually to not only win the title, but also having a friend in the top, playing the same deck?
It's great satisfaction. We're part of the same team, Team Rocket.
Team Rocket?
Yeah.
Very appropriate.
Yeah. Just skying up. And we just talked a lot about the list and almost agreed on everything. I think we played 73 out of 75.
Yeah, just those of you just tuning in and missing all the action, this is Thomas' trophy.
Very nice.
Finalist and champion.
Very pretty, yeah.
It'll do nicely because we know that you've been missing some sort of good results.
We need more results. This is my first trophy and I'm very proud of it. So Michael also played the deck to the top 4, played him in the semi-finals. A great friend and a great Magic player.
Yep, so going into, you're not qualified for Pro Tour San Diego.
I am, in fact.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
I managed to win a Magic Online PTQ.
Ah, great. It's great to have you in the same
And
club.
I know you, yeah.
We
good
so
job.
So see you in San Diego.
Of course.
Does that mean that you will be the #1 Danish player?
As it is now, I have 14 points and Andreas Nilsson has 10 points. And we are both qualified for
All right, so
the
it's
tour.
going to be sort of race in San Diego. Something to watch out for.
Yeah, I'm going to try and sabotage him if I can.
There's going to be a lot of races going on, but definitely one to watch out for. Because, I mean, you already qualified for the World Magic Cup.
I won a VMCQ, yeah.
Yeah, you won it last week. Now,
yes, I'm on a hot streak.
Too bad the Pro Tour is next week, right?
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't come soon enough.
Yeah, great. So this season already nearing towards the end. With you qualified for Pro Tour Theros as well, and the World Magic Cup.
It's going to be a great year.
What are your expectations for next year?
I mean, this is my last year as a student, so kind of trying to give it my all this year and see where it takes me, cool. And then we'll see if I have to be an adult in 2014.
Or you might go pro. you already have a
Yeah.
great head start into the following Pro Tour season, so
Yeah,
you can do
that's
quite
true.
a lot
Yeah,
there.
finally a trophy
Yeah.
also.
So there you have it. Thomas Enevoldsen, the Grand Prix Strasbourg 2013 finalist here with Death in Texas, the Danish
The best deck.
The best deck, you said it here. So yeah, thanks for having me. Congratulations again, and see you in San Diego, see
course.
you in Dublin,
Yeah.
and see you in Amsterdam.
Everywhere. Bye.
Yeah.